Hey guys, welcome to episode number 1 in the Week in Sports. What's this going to be? This is going to be a weekly broadcast of the biggest news in the world of sports. We're going to be talking about Major League Baseball. We're going to be talking about NHL hockey. We're going to be talking about college football. We're going to be talking about college basketball. Whatever sport, if there's a sport that we didn't comment on, please comment down below in the comments about what sport you want to be seeing featured in this broadcast. Is there maybe your favorite teams? Maybe you want to know about the news about your favorite teams. Please comment down below and we will do our best to give you the most current information. The one thing that I said that I didn't really want to do was much WWE stuff because I think we're going to be doing separate stuff for the WWE. But this news just broke today. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, his father, Rocky Johnson, has passed away at the age of 75. Unfortunately, we're going to start off with some sad news. So Rocky Johnson was a wrestler in the 1970s in the NWA. He won WWE Tag Team Gold in 1983. So he was in the NWA, in the 1970s. And then he won Tag Team Gold in 1983 with Tony Atlas. He was a wrestler that broke barriers, an unbelievable wrestler. If we didn't have Rocky Johnson, we probably would not have had the most charismatic WWE wrestler in the world in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So Dwayne, my condolences to you and your family. Rocky Johnson was an amazing wrestler. He won, like I said before, multiple singles titles. And then he became a tag team specialist, winning Tag Team Gold. So unfortunately, Rocky Johnson passed away at the age of 75. Alright, let's get on to some other news today. Major League Baseball has been investigating cheating in the Houston Astros for quite a while now, I think. And they came out this week with the news of the punishment for the Houston Astros for stealing signs. This all came out with Mike Flyer, a former pitcher of the Houston Astros, that has said that that this was concocted. Now the manager of the Houston Astros says that this was a players only thing, that he did not know anything about this. Who knows the validity of that? But unfortunately, he was suspended for 1 year. The general manager of the Houston Astros, Jeff Luhnow, was suspended for the 2020 season as well. But then the Houston Astros owner went one step further, and he fired both A.J. Hinch and the general manager, Jeff Luhnow. And this coming off of when they were in the World Series this year versus the Nationals, they had to fire the general manager assistant, I believe he was, right in the middle of the World Series. So Houston is going through some hard times right now. And that's not the only thing that they lost. They also lost 2 first-round draft picks the next 2 years. They've lost 2 second-round draft picks as well. And they were fined the maximum amount that you could be fined, and that was $5 million. So Houston won the World Series in 2017. This is when all this sign stealing stuff had started. They lost to the Boston Red Sox in 2018 in the American League Championships, where Boston Red Sox went on to win the World Series. So right now the news is that they're not going to be taking away the 2017 World Series for the Houston Astros. And then, of course, in the 2019 World Series, they were playing against the Washington Nationals. The Nationals won the World Series in 2019. And, so also someone that's going to be probably punished is their former bench coach, and that was Joey Cora. So Joey Cora was the bench manager in 2017, and then he became a manager of the Boston Red Sox in 2018. So what would happen is, I guess, when they stole the signs, there'd be a player that would bang on a metal garbage can, and I guess one would be a fastball, 2 would who knows what the actual steal of the signs was, whether it's for base runners, pitching or pitches, who knows, but they were able to figure it out for every team. And like I said, the coach said that this was a player only thing, but who knows Bill Belichick has, the New England Patriots has cheated a couple times for sure. The Houston Astros, I don't know. I'm like, did they need to do this? No, they did not need to do this. Their teams were stacked. They could have won quite easily, no matter what. Should their World Series be taken away? I'm saying no, it shouldn't be taken away. That team was unbelievable. And yeah, let's learn from this. Let's stop cheating. Let's play the game. Let's play the game fair. I know everyone wants to win, but sometimes losing happens. If you have 31 teams in a league, 30 of those teams are going to end up losing their last game. Only one team's going to win. So let's play fair. Let's stop. You guys get paid millions of dollars. There's no need for this. All right, the second biggest news probably is the college football championship. We had LSU for the national championship. We had LSU versus Clemson. Almost said Alabama because Alabama's usually in it. And this took place in the Mercedes Benz State Superdome, which held 76,885 people. LSU, to get into the national championship, had to beat Oklahoma in the semifinals game, and they beat them quite handily. And Clemson beat Ohio State in the other semifinal game, which led to this epic national championship game, LSU versus Clemson. Clemson is the former, won the national championship last year, so this had a great game all over it. As well, LSU came in with the newest Heisman Trophy winner in Joe Burrow, the quarterback. And what did he do in this game? He only went out and tossed 6 touchdowns, and LSU won 42-25. Clemson started the game pretty good. I thought it was a close game going into probably the middle of the third quarter. From the middle of the third quarter to the fourth quarter, it was all LSU. Clemson had the lead multiple times, and they had their chances. They just couldn't stop Joe Burrow and their amazing wide receivers. So Joe Burrow was also a transfer from Ohio State. Ohio State's had some pretty good quarterbacks lately, and imagine if they kept Joe Burrow. Would have been amazing. All right, so he completed 37 of 49 passes for 463 yards, and also rushed for 58 yards on 14 carries. In both his playoff victories, Burrow completed 60 of 88 passes for 956 yards and 12 touchdowns. So he tossed 6 touchdowns in the national championship game and then 6 touchdowns against Oklahoma. Unbelievable. Okay, the NFL had 4 games in the playoffs this year. We're in the divisional round. The first game that I'm going to talk about is the Tennessee Titans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Tennessee last week upset the defending champs, the New England Patriots. They came in with a regular season record of 11-7. Baltimore was first in the AFC at 14-3. Tennessee came out, won the game 28-12. King Henry had a huge game, rushing for 195 yards, and Lamar Jackson, the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens, had a pretty good game himself, passing for 265 yards and rushed for 143 yards. If you told me that Baltimore was going to have 500 yards of total offense, I would have said that they would have won the game. They lost 28-12 to Tennessee. So let's see who Tennessee's going to play against next week, or this coming week. We have the Texans versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Texans came out with a 24-0 lead in the first quarter, and they completely blew it. The Kansas City Chiefs scored like 28 points in the next quarter, and they won the game 51-31, beating the Texans. So right now in the divisional final, in the AFC final, we're going to have the Tennessee Titans versus the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be King Henry versus Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes threw for 321 yards with 5 touchdowns thrown. His tight end, Kelsey, had 134 reception yards and 3 touchdowns. Huge game for them. The next game was in the NFC. We have the Minnesota Vikings versus the San Francisco 49ers, and then we had the Packers versus the Seattle Seahawks. The Vikings came in sixth place in their division, and they had beat the New Orleans Saints in last week. The third time that the Saints have lost in the first round. They just can't get over the hump. And they're taking on the 14-3, the first place San Francisco 49ers. The Niners won the game 27-10. Kirk Cousins had 172 yards, one touchdown pass, one interception. Dalvin Cook had 9 carries for 18 yards. Not a good game for the Vikings. So who will the 49ers face off and host in the next game? So it was between the Packers and the Seahawks. The Packers won this game 28-23. They had a pretty big lead, and Russell Wilson and the boys almost came back and won the game. Devonta Adams had a huge game, 160 yards receptions. So right now, next week, we're going to have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tennessee Titans, and we're going to have the Green Bay Packers versus the San Francisco 49ers. Who do you think is going to win? My prediction is probably going to be a Kansas City versus Green Bay final, but we'll see about that. Okay, guys, so who do you think is going to win? What two teams do you think is going to be in the NFL Super Bowl? The first game is Kansas City Chiefs versus Tennessee Titans. Who's going to represent the AFC? The NFC, who's going to represent them is going to be the San Francisco 49ers or the Green Bay Packers. Like I said before, I think it's going to be the Chiefs versus the Packers. I would like it for it to be the Titans, but hey, we destroyed the New England dynasty. We beat the number one team in the AFC. We've beat Kansas City already this year. So I think this has been a pretty successful season for the Tennessee Titans. But we'll see. Maybe we'll pull one out of our hat again and we'll win. But yeah, who do you think it's going to be? Comment down below. Alright, the next news item is in the PGA Tour. We had the Sony Open in Hawaii. Who does not want to be in Hawaii right now? Especially if you're in Canada. We had a huge ice storm last Saturday. So you're watching beautiful golf, even though it was raining in Hawaii. You're like, man, that's a lot better than freezing rain that we're getting right now. So it was between, at the end, it went into playoff holes. It was between Cameron Smith and Brendan Steele. Brendan Steele had the lead in the first round, second round, third round. But then they both kind of faltered. Both the golfers obviously were tied. They were tied at -11. And Cameron Smith ended up winning in the playoff. He hit a beautiful left to righter putt, 9-footer-ish. To force a playoff between these two golfers. Both golfers look like they're going to have a pretty big season. Cameron Smith was in the President's Cup in Australia in December. Played very well in it as well. The international team almost beat the U.S. team that last year, but they couldn't. Alright, so we're going to end our news stories with the NHL. Biggest news, especially for me, is Sidney Crosby has returned from injury last night after 28 games. So watch out for the Pittsburgh Penguins to make a run up in the Eastern Conference Division. He had a beautiful game last night. He had a beautiful pass that off the nets, back to himself, boom, goal. Let's go with the top 5 scorers in the NHL this year. We've got number 1 from the Edmonton Oilers, Connor McDavid. He has 71 points. Second is Leon Draisaitl, his teammate in Edmonton, where he has 70 points. The third leading scorer is Artemi Panarin, of the Rangers. He has 67 points. The fourth place guy is David Pastrnak of the Boston Bruins. He has 36 goals, 30 assists for 60 points. And the fifth place guy is Nathan MacKinnon of the Colorado Avalanche. He has 27 goals, 39 assists for 66 points. So, of course, tell us what kind of news you want to be hearing. What kind of sports news do you want to hear? And we'll be back next week. So remember to subscribe to the Cali and Jordan Squad so you don't miss out on any of our videos. We're going to do sports videos like this. We're going to do all kinds of different videos. We're just going to have fun, right? That's what YouTube's all about. It's about having fun, baby. Yeah, so we'll see you next time. Peace out, guys.